So I've been playing the Monster Hunter Wilds open beta over the weekend, and let me tell you, this game is amazing. And it's not even the full game. The graphics are amazing, besides one monster in particular giving me a rough go. The monsters are pretty cool, and I am absolutely satisfied with at least 99% of the weapon changes they've made. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my opinions on each of the weapon changes. Let's start with what has been my main weapon over the past couple of years, the Greatsword. It probably has the least number of changes out of all the weapons. It gained the Power Clash and the Offset attack, both of which aren't very easy to get off, but probably the biggest change, just not to the weapon itself, but to the mechanics of the game. The new focus mode, you should never, and I mean never, miss a true charge slash again. I don't have all too much to say about Sword and Shield. I feel like the skill floor went up just a little bit because it doesn't feel as flowy as it used to be. I think it's a little harder to pick up for new players, but still usable. But by the gods, is this thing a wound popping machine? Like, it is so satisfying to just pop wound after wound after wound with this thing. I don't even know how I was creating that many wounds, but it was happening constantly. As if Longsword wasn't popular enough, if Longsword doesn't have a larger fan base than it already did, I will be genuinely surprised. Longsword feels way more anime than it has been. For starters, when you have your spirit gauge in the red, you have infinite spirit gauge until you either use your Helmbreaker or until the red gauge runs out. And when you use your focus strike to pop a wound, you automatically gain a level of your spirit gauge for every wound that you popped. So you can almost spend the entire hunt having red spirit gauge. It feels amazing. Speaking of Longsword, I did not ever think that there'd be a weapon to dethrone it as the most anime weapon in the game. But I stand corrected with the new dual blades. The focus strike just lets you do the Levi anime attack over and over again, and it feels so satisfying on Balahara to go down its full length, considering it's the longest monster in the beta. Plus the quality of life stuff they did to the Demon Dance and the Blade Dance and the Demon Flurry, it just feels so nice. If you miss the Blade Dance because a monster moved or whatever, you can actually cancel it halfway through, so you don't have to sit there standing, swinging your blades around and just look like a complete idiot. Okay, so either Lance got the glow up of the century, or I have been sleeping on this thing for years. I do not remember having this much fun using Lance back in World. I don't know if it's like the little guard counter you get if you... I believe Adept Guard is what people have been calling it, where if you block a small attack, you do this little shield bash to his face. But the Paladin in me is really enjoying the kind of block and counter play style that this Lance has. Hunting Horn has been my secondary main weapon ever since Iceborne, and I can't really say whether or not I like this Hunting Horn better or not. It's got an offset attack, which is pretty okay, but I don't like... I like how it's not part of your main melody, so when you're playing your self-improvement or your attack up, it doesn't use your offset melody. it's a different set of button prompts. But I also don't like how weird those button prompts are. It might just be me, but they seem kind of strange. I can't really have a full opinion on Hunting Horn until I get to see what the other horns look like, because we only have the one in the beta, and I want to see the other horns before I fully come to a decision. One thing I do like, however, is the Echo Bubble. If you can keep the monster inside of it, it's pretty fun to use. It did technically replace the move where you put the Hunting Horn on the ground and like spin it, which was good stun damage for slugger builds, but I kind of miss it. But Echo Bubble is a good replacement for it.
Creeping up from the heathens, got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Oh shit! By the gods, is Hammer's new Mighty Charge attack satisfying as hell. Hammer is my third most played weapon, and I think I'm going to be playing it a lot more. It is so fun to bully monsters with this hammer. You don't even know. Get shit on.
Okay, I was wrong.
Want to see me give this toad a rude wake-up call?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, go. Do it.
Wake up, motherfucker! Time to wake up, frog. On the topic of excessively fun weapons, I think Gunlance is going to dethrone Greatsword as my main weapon for this game. I don't know exactly what it is. This weapon just feels so satisfying. You get 2 Wyvern Fires, charge shelling as a base kit, doing your full burst combo because I'm a full burst stan. You can also throw your Worm Stake into the full burst, and it comes out so quickly that it's very difficult to miss it. I honestly think Gunlance is going to cause me to shelve Greatsword for a game. I am actually incredibly disappointed in how badly they absolutely butchered the Insect Glaive. Like, it's not even funny. They took away the air superiority that it had, which was like the one thing that made Insect Glaive unique from the other weapons. They took the air superiority, threw it out the window. Your little airborne helicopter attack, if you land that on a monster, you no longer jump upwards so you can do it again. When you do your little helicopter attack, you just hit the ground. There's nothing after that. And then they took that, threw it out the window, and replaced it with like a severing version of the hammer with that little charge that it gets. That charge while moving that hammer can do. Yeah, Glaive has it now. And like, the only redeeming quality this has is that when you use a focus strike to pop a wound, you can get all 3 of your Kinsect buffs all at once. So if for some reason you use this weapon, good tip, save the wounds on the monster for when your Kinsect buffs go away. That way you can just quickly pop a wound and get all 3 of your buffs back. Out of all of the weapons in the beta, I had the least amount of fun playing with the Insect Glaive. I don't think I'm gonna plan to even try to use it when the game fully releases. between World, Iceborne, Rise, and Sunbreak, I'm pretty sure I have less than 5 Switch Axe games under my belt, so I don't really have much to compare it to in terms of how much more fun it is to play in Wilds. But from the little bit that I did play in Wilds, I think I'll play around with it a little bit more. My best friend, who is a Switch Axe main, will definitely love some of the new things they have. The offset in the axe mode, the counter that sword mode got. Yeah, it's pretty fun, so I think within the full game, I will be using Switch Axe at least a little bit more than I have been over the past 2 games. I am pretty indifferent to both the heavy and light bowguns. I never really used them all too much. Like, they were alright. I didn't like them that much. But, in Wilds, they both have 3 bullets on the side of the screen that apparently is supposed to be your focus strike. I don't know if once you use all 3, you can't use the focus strike again until they recharge, or if it's just it makes it so your focus strike doesn't do as much damage. I mean, a big change that I noticed is that light bowgun has like a version of like a lesser version of heavy bowgun's Wyvern Heart mode, which is something I think it is pretty good. But hey, I managed to hunt a Chotacabra while almost exclusively on my mount, so that's a fun little thing you can do. One more thing that I found interesting about the bowguns is that level 1 pierce and level 1 spread ammo is infinite. It's not just the level 1 normal ammo anymore. You have level 1 pierce and level 1 spread infinitely now, which is something that I found super interesting. As the first weapon that I ever mained, I had a lot of high hopes for bow for this game. In the weapon showcase trailers, like, bow looked like it had a lot of potential, and I don't know if it's just a skill issue on my part. Let's face it, it probably is. But I wasn't really getting the use of a lot of things. I mean, the tracer arrows were a lot more common than I thought they would be, but they would explode after not that much damage, so I don't know the full use of them. Plus, the focus strike is supposed to be like the magic arrow from Dragon's Dogma 2, and I never found myself putting enough wounds on a monster to make that viable. Again, probably a skill issue on my part, but I have a feeling that's morely gonna be of use in multiplayer rather than in solo. I'll play around with it more when the game comes out. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all the weapons for Monster Hunter Wilds so far. Maybe there's still a unreleased brand new weapon. That's high hopes. But thanks for watching this far in the video, if you are still here. I will definitely try to do a playthrough of this game and actually record it when it fully comes out. Why does it have to come out in February? I can't wait that long. But yeah, that's it for me. I will see you all in the next one.